smart and brought water.
Oh no, this came from my mother's purse.
What else do you have in there?
She has a raspberry flavor. Would you like it?
No.
I know it's still in there.
It's so funny. 2 waters in
Okay. Mr. Muscalik, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Ms. Munoz, are you ready? Students, are you ready? Yes. All right. So this is not a district-run event. This is run through the Parent-Teacher School Association, Student Association, as well as our Social Studies Department. So we're going to turn this over to them and take it away.
Welcome to the 2024 Lewiston-Porter Meet the Board Candidate Night. And my name is Dr. Paul Muscalik, and I'm a high school social studies teacher and the moderator this evening.
If you guys just stand closer to the microphone.
Okay.
It is being...
Okay, sorry.
My name is Yocasta Munoz. I'm the PTSA president, and I'm here to be the timekeeper.
Okay, this event is a cooperative effort between the Lewiston-Porter District, the High School Social Studies Department, and the 12th grade students of Lew-Porter. This activity not only shows the great cooperation between these groups, but also provides our students a valuable learning opportunity as they learn about the election process and how to become an educated voter. The format for tonight will be as follows. The candidates are seated in the order in which they will appear on the ballot. Each of the 3 candidates will have 3 minutes for an opening statement about their candidacy. Candidates will be asked questions drafted by students, by AP government students, correct? Okay. The candidates will answer in rotating order and will have up to 2 minutes to answer the question. I, as monitor, will keep time and inform you when your time is up. We respectfully request that you stick to the agreed time frames. Once all the questions have been asked, candidates will have 2 minutes for a closing statement in the opposite order of the opening statement to close out their thoughts. Prior to closing statements, we will allow questions from the audience. Audience members must complete the question response form located at the front table. Questions will be vetted to ensure that they are appropriate and not mention LP, Lewiston-Porter personnel, and or students by name. So please welcome our 3 candidates, Stephen J. Tarnowski, Sarah Hanessian, and Tessa Conley. And tonight we have 3 Lew-Porter High School students who will join us today for the questioning. And each student, if you will, Chloe, would you introduce yourself? Come up here.
Good evening. My name is Chloe Pellegrino. I'm a senior at Lewiston-Porter, and I'm majoring in Business Administration Marketing at Binghamton University. I'm the Class of 2024 President and Editor-in-Chief of the Yearbook, Traditions Club Treasurer, a member of National Honor Society, Art National Honor Society, Science Olympiad, Stage Crew, Key Club, a student researcher for the Japan Super Science Fair, an intern at Niagara Falls Memorial Medical Center, and outside of school, I work at the Village Bake Shop and my own personal photography business. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to participate tonight.
Good evening. My name is Guinevere Tozak, and I'm a senior at Lewiston-Porter High School. I'm attending University of Rochester and majoring in political science. At school, I'm the senior class vice president, model UN vice president, co-founder and president of French Club, first violin section leader of the orchestra, and member of National Honor Society, French National Honor Society, and Stage Crew. Outside of school, I work at Made of the Mist and Panera Bread, and I volunteer throughout the community. And I participated in the Student Law and Advocacy program at Georgetown University. It's a pleasure to be here tonight, and thank you for having me.
Last but not least is Owen Sweeney.
Hello, my name is Owen Sweeney, and I'm a senior this year. I am the senior class treasurer, and I'm in the top 10 of my graduating class. I'm a member of various clubs, honor societies, and sports teams in the high school, such as Key Club, varsity track and soccer, and the Business Academy. Next year, I will be attending UB and majoring in chemical engineering, and thank you for allowing me to ask you a few questions.
Such wonderful students, right? Okay, so now we will begin with the opening statements. Stephen J. Tarnowski, you have 3 minutes, please.
My name's Steve Tarnowski. I've lived in the district for 33 of my 36 years. Currently a detective lieutenant with the City of Lockport Police Department. I've worked there for 15 years. I'm married to Ashley Tarnowski. She's a chemical engineer manager at Olin in Niagara Falls. We've been married for 10 years this summer. We have 5 children together. Colin, who was in Miss Jasic's class, Stephen, who was in Miss Reese's kindergarten class, and Olivia, who will be in UPK in 2025, and 6-month-old twin, Elizabeth and Lena. They are the reason I'm running for the school board. Between my 5 children and 8 nieces and nephews, if you have a child attending Lew-Port, chances are they know Tarnowski. I have a vested interest in the present and the future of our students. I plan on bringing my viewpoints and perspective to run on a common sense platform. If it keeps our children safe and it's common sense, I'm for it. I believe my 15 years experience as a police officer, police lieutenant, and detective lieutenant bring invaluable experience to this board. Some people may not see it this way, but a significant portion of our job is settling differences between 2 parties and each believing they won. That's how solutions should be. Also, I'm an employee and I'm part of a union. My wife is more administrative and she's in the company, and we both negotiated on our respective sides, and we're able to combine that knowledge for the betterment of our organizations. I've also been the fleet manager for police vehicles for the last 10 years, which includes budgetary duties. I understand what cuts have to be made here, even though there's some money over there. My most important objective is doing anything we can to save the jobs of our children's teachers and teachers' aides. I have a good friend who isn't having her 1-year contract extended, who is being, in my view, laid off, even though it's marked as attrition. Between school and after-school activities, sports, whirlwind weekends, these teachers spend more awake time with our children than we do. They bring irreplaceable value to our children during their most formative years. I cannot stress enough how important it is that we not skimp when it comes to this key topic. Where do we cut back when there's a deficit? I don't know yet. But larger class sizes with children who may need a little extra attention getting done due to the teacher and teacher aide cuts certainly should be the absolute line to address. In closing, I look forward to gaining intimate knowledge of our budget and tax base. I look forward to finding a solution to keeping our sports, technology, art, music top-notch in the country. Most importantly, I look forward to finding a solution to keep our staffing up and our class sizes down.
Okay, thank you. Sarah, would you like to go next?
Yes, good evening, everyone. Hello to our student leaders, our community members, and especially tonight's facilitators. My name is Sarah Hennessy, and I'm one of the candidates for the Board of Education. I am a Lewiston resident. I'm a graduate of Lewiston-Porter through the previously named North Elementary in the middle and high schools, so I know what the school system is like. I know a well-respected district Lewiston-Porter is. I have 5 nieces and nephews in the elementary schools, and I have family and friends and staff throughout the buildings. So I care very much about Lewiston-Porter, and I want to see it remain an excellent place to receive an education. I greatly value education. After high school, I received a Bachelor in Science degree from Carnegie Mellon University. I graduated from St. George University School of Medicine. I finished 4 years of residency at Penn State Hershey, and I completed pathology fellowship at Virginia Commonwealth University. So I've been through many different types of higher learning institutions, and I believe I'm qualified to help guide decision-making in the district. First and foremost, students, they must have access to creative and continually innovating programs. These are experiences that are going to shape the rest of their lives. I remember my time at Lewiston-Porter, and because of it, I have the ability to teach my nephew how to play violin because I remember exactly how Miss Mayer taught me. I recently had the ability to travel to France and speak with the locals because Mr. Cousins taught us so well. I traveled as an exchange student between my junior and senior years of high school, which was a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I was an engineering major in college, but I still have the trophy that I won for Best Bridge Construction and Technology class. So I want all students to have their own individual experiences. Secondly, financial responsibility. The school board, of course, must continue to work with the superintendents and administrators to complete the comprehensive budget aimed at delivering the pinnacle of education and programs. And there must be a balance between the educational activities and the financial backing provided by state funding and local taxes. Thirdly, I truly believe in taking an inclusive approach to education. All students regardless of their background, their differences, and their financial situation, should have the opportunity to learn in a caring environment. Lastly, as a community, we collectively bear the responsibility of offering our youth the finest educational experience, and then they'll be able to go forward into college or the career of their choice. So the Board of Education is entrusted with creating the pathways of opportunity for students while maintaining inherent financial obligations, and I hope I'm up to that challenge. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Please. Tessa Conley, you have 3 minutes.
Thank you. Well, I'm Tessa Connolly. Just to give you a little background, I grew up in Oswego, which is about 3 hours down 104, so I did not grow up here, but it's my chosen home with my family. I came to UB to study design and have stayed here ever since. My mom was a teacher, and her parents were teachers, and my dad was a machinist from a family of tradesmen. I mention this because I believe how you were brought up could directly influence your viewpoint as an adult. Every night I watched my mom finish dinner, grab her school bag, and head to her chair in the living room where she graded and planned for hours on end. It is because of her that I'm such a big supporter of teachers and know how much work and worry they carry well beyond the school day, and how vital it is to have a great administration supporting them every step of the way. If our teachers are supported, our children are supported. I was the first person on my dad's side of the family to even go to college. It was because of him that I'm a huge proponent of the trades and know that college isn't the final goal for all children. My dad is in his 70s and still receives calls from his union begging him to return to work because they can't find qualified people. As I wrote in my candidate statement, my wish is for all children of the district to have access to well-rounded education, filled with rigorous STEM opportunities, fulfilling arts and music programming, competitive sports, in addition to being introduced to those desperately needed trades and other life skills they will need to succeed in the real world. We all want the best for our kids and to guide them into adulthood with the best possible foundation we can give them. Since my children started at Lewiston-Porter, I've been very involved, which began with the parent volunteer training. I was in school weekly helping kindergartners learn to read. As mine got older and it was way less cool to see mom at school, I joined the PTSA where I could volunteer at a different level. As an organization, we hold various fundraisers and work with each building to develop a budget we feel will impact students the greatest. Do we always agree with each building on how to spend the money? No. As a board, do we always agree amongst ourselves on how we should spend the money? Also, no. But as most boards do, we talk it through, we listen, and we consult our bylaws if needed, and then we take a vote. As my fellow board members and family and friends and coworkers and pretty much anyone that knows me would confirm, I am not afraid to voice my opinion. I have a full confidence in my values and my ability to listen respectfully to other viewpoints and to compromise to find the best solution. I hope to have the opportunity to further my service to our district and to be a voice for all stakeholders in the community. Thanks.
Okay, great, thanks. So now we're going to begin with the questions. Again, each candidate will have 2 minutes to answer the question, and then we will go in alternating order. So Owen, you're up for the first question, so each candidate will answer Owen's question. So 2 minutes.
So my question is, what experience do you have in dealing with youth in the community?
Deal with youth in the community, not this specific community, but in Lockport, we certainly deal with the community on a volunteer basis all the time, from food drives and shop with a cop, touch a truck, all these programs I volunteer for with the youth.
Thank you.
Yes, like I mentioned, I do have 5 nieces and nephews, constantly taking to them to all their various sports. So, I really enjoy my time with that. And, I do look forward to volunteering in the community. I think that community involvement is very important. It's important to make as many contacts in the community, to understand the issues and, everyone's perspective. So I look forward to that.
Well, yes, there's through as I mentioned, the PTSA, I was in the school, a lot. I, helped with the fundraising and did the fun runs, and their music programs and pretty much everything you can volunteer for. I was right in line trying to get get in and help all the kids. So.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Chloe, question number 2, please.
My question is, what do you feel is the biggest issue facing our district today, and what will you do to address it?
Tessa, please.
I think as we kind of just went over in the first part of the meeting, the budget is obviously a big concern. I don't think anyone wants to see anyone lose jobs or lose funding to any of the programs we have. But I think with innovative discussion, we can try to solve any shortcomings that the money should provide.
Just real quick, a note. I think you have to talk a little bit closer to your microphones.
Okay.
People can't hear you in the back, so you can bring them a little closer. Okay, we're good? Okay.
Yes, similar. I was going to say something similar. As Mr. Casari described, the school budget's made up of revenue and expenditures, and, COVID stimulus funding is quickly coming to an end. There's decreased enrollment in the district, so the school budget is, really going to have to make up for that. There's, maybe rough waters ahead and some tough decisions to be made, but, everyone can work together. I really look forward to getting into the financial details and, making some tough decisions, what's best for the school and the district.
Steve?
Most important thing is keeping jobs, limiting any layoffs, as little layoffs as possible. Sports are nice. My kids are in sports. Math's nice. Art's nice. Music is nice. My kids are in all those things, and I encourage all those things. But it won't help much if you don't have the teachers to staff it. So we're going to need to keep all the teacher jobs. This is probably the most important thing is staffing in the budget.
Okay. Gwen, question number 3, and that kind of follows with what? So Stephen, you'll go first.
My question is, what will you do to ensure that student programs aren't cut as the district's enrollment decreases?
Well, I'm looking forward to getting in there and figuring out how. I'll tell you, my oldest plays football for LPYF, and this is his 3rd year. We live in the district, we pay district taxes, and yet LP Lewiston-Porter youth football pays to use the field, and they have to practice at our park. Both my boys were in wrestling this year for Lewiston-Porter. There's probably 40 kids in their first class here, and there's 6 coaches. That's being cut down to 1 full-time and 1 assistant coach. I don't know how, the 6 coaches, none of them knew my son's name the last day of practice during picture day. They were calling him and they were just looking around the room waiting for someone to respond. So if 6 coaches can't keep track of 40 kids, I have no idea how 2 are going to be able to do that. So I'm right there with you. So that's very important to me to keep the student specialty in sports going as well.
Yes, yeah, agreed. School programs are extremely important. As Steve mentioned, sports are a huge part of many kids' lives. Music, their academics is very important, but, there's many kids out there that, academics isn't their strength, and they want to find these other programs, have their individual pathway in these types of programs and, express themselves that way. So, again, I look forward to really getting into the financial details and seeing how we can keep all of the programs that we have.
Hi, thanks. I just want to make sure my thing is working. Can you repeat the question one more time?
What will you do to ensure that student programs aren't cut as the district's enrollment decreases?
Okay. I think that, obviously no one would like to see anything cut, but I think what's also important is to make sure that all kids are included and all kids have a club, all kids have a sport. You guys are in a ton of clubs, and that is so amazing, and I love to hear that. But I also want to hear what the other kids are in. Maybe they don't find a club for them. So I think what would be good to look at the school as a whole and to make sure that every child has an appropriate club or sport that fits their personality.
Okay. Owen, you're up next. Question number 4.
If there was one item that you would like to have added in next year's budget that's not in there currently, what would it be?
Me? Something added in the budget. So if this is, money is no object? Well, I would say, I think kind of to go along with my answer before, I would like to even poll all of the students to see if what they believe is missing out of. I mean, I don't go to school there, so I don't know what you guys would feel that is missing, or what they feel that would be needed. So it'd be nice to kind of get a poll from all of the students to see what they feel should be added, and then obviously we'd have to work to see if that would fit.
Yeah, I also can't think of anything off the top of my head, and agree with what Tessa said, that, you know, getting in touch with students and teachers and finding what their priorities are would be very important.
The teacher positions that are eliminated. Many are through attrition, but that attrition number isn't really attrition. Technically, by definition, it is, but people don't want to leave these jobs from retirement. Their contracts aren't being renewed. It's like my friend who's, you know, through attrition, she's losing her job, but she's looking for a job elsewhere, and she's young. So I'd like to see those teacher jobs back. Would probably be the most important thing.
Thank you.
Glenn, you're up. Question number 5.
I don't know if this question is going to be any easier or harder, but if there's one item that you would like to remove from next year's budget that is in there, what would it be?
I'll have to look at the budget and see. I'm certain that there's some items that can be cut there before what was cut is up there. I know the board worked hard on it along with the superintendent, but that's just a lot of positions to get rid of. And I feel like there's got to be some more meat somewhere to get rid of it.
That's a tough question for me. Again, I would have to look at the budget as well and see if there was something that could come away.
Same thing here. I could not pick one off the top of my head. I don't, want to see anything go, so.
Chloe?
Another hard question. What can you do to ensure that the teaching staff remains intact with declining number of students in the district?
So is that me again? I don't want to see anyone lose their job. I also don't want to see other things being cut that affect all students. So, unfortunately, with declining population, there are going to be some changes. If we could find something and save everyone's job, I've been laid off before. I know it's really difficult, but sometimes it's necessary. But I'm sure that the jobs would have been saved if they could have been. I know that the teachers in this district are really respected and they're treated very well. So I'm sure it was a last resort.
Yeah, agreed. Teaching positions, as Mr. Kasari said earlier, that's, teachers are, the most important part of the school, and having, the top-notch teachers really ensures student academic success, and which I know students have had, great success. It's come through in the numbers. So I think they are top priority.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like I said, my kids are in sports, my kids are in art, my kids are in, my oldest is in leadership club. They're very involved with school activities. So, all those things are great, but it kind of is all for naught if there's not enough teachers to teach it. And we're wrestling next year with one head coach and one part-time, or one assistant. I don't even know if it'd be worth going at that point, because the 5-year-olds trying to wrestle take almost one-on-one instruction, and 2 coaches aren't going to control 40 kids. So you got to have the staffing.
Thank you.
Owen?
Explain how you would handle angry residents' complaints when their views are different than yours.
I would explain, I would listen to what they had to say first, I mean, nothing makes you more angry if you not feel like you're listened to or heard. So yeah, listen to them, hear them, and propose an option, or explain to them explain to them why it is the way it is for the situation that they're angry about. Like such as, I know I've already talked to people about putting in this turf. Well, I mean while people are being laid off, they don't understand is that money from bucket A needs to be spent on A costs, and money from bucket B needs to go to B costs, and there's no mixing the two. And after you explain it to people, and explain why things are the way they are, they tend to be more reasonable.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, there's so many issues that are, you could list the prevalent issues currently, some that I'm sure the school board is dealing with in the past and is going to have to deal with in the future. And I mean, I think of myself as, understanding that every issue has varying opinions. And really, if you can just work together and realize that everyone's opinions, if everyone's working in good faith in the best interests of the school and the community, that, you can always come to a reasonable decision.
Right. I think everyone in the community has the same goal in mind. Just even to sit up here, we all had to get 25 signatures from people of the community. And just even meeting 25 people in person, well, not meeting, they were friends or colleagues or neighbors. I already have heard some issues that people have that I have never encountered before at all. So there are people that are unhappy, and I think just listening and at this point, obviously, we can't really say either way what we know we can do or can't do, but we all know that we can communicate with each other and work hard to get our feelings across, listen to their feelings, and come to a compromise.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel that safety in the district is adequate?
I do feel that safety is adequate. I drop my kids off to school every day, pick them up from practice or after school activities or just right after school. I always see a police presence. I have never, my kids have never come to me with any kind of safety issue, so I have no complaints on that.
Yes, regarding physical safety, my understanding is there's 2 new resource officers in the district starting in these past few years, that they're present during arrival and departure of students. Lewiston Police is right on campus, that they're patrolling routinely, and there's all kinds of check-in and check-out procedures that are or have been in place for many years. So my understanding, it's a very safe campus, and I'm sure it'll remain that way.
I mean, everything can be safer. I mean, I definitely like having 2 SROs. What the budget allows, get another one for each building. I really liked it when Lewiston Police was keeping all their vehicles out here on campus. I loved that. No one ever knew if police are on campus or not. They were just taking a guess. And now you know if all the cars are there or not, because they store them a block away instead of keeping them here on campus. So if you don't see any cop cars there, well, then they're not here. So I'd prefer to get them back parking over here. I'm not sure why they built a garage and parked their cars in it. I have no idea. So,
Thank you.
yep.
All right, Chloe, we're going to ask number 10.
What additional student programs would you like to see added to our school?
Steve.
Additional. Shop class, that would be really nice to have, because no one pull high schoolers and see how many people can change a tire or change a front set of brakes on a car. I mean, I think that'd be extremely important to have back in the class. Welding, some type of blue collar skills. That, I mean, there's a lot of jobs out there right now for that kind of stuff, and no one's taking them, and they're good paying jobs, blue collar jobs, and I think we need to set up people for success there.
Yeah, agreed. There's different programs that would be nice are I know there's Ames Webs, which helps students, who have, that they, developmental problems, that they might need more speech therapy, academic assistance after school, PTOT, to expand that, especially since, the pandemic really, took a hit on some younger children's developmental skills, and that might be needed for the future.
I definitely will agree with trades. I'm pretty passionate about that. I also would like to ask the students what they think that they would be missing, what they feel they should have. Again, there's some kids are involved in a million different activities. Some may be just involved in one or maybe none. So I would like to make sure all kids have a well-rounded, extensive programming in their school.
Okay, Gwen, you're going to ask question number 11. It has to do with students.
How will you make sure that the students have a voice in the districts?
I think, it's great you guys are here. I think having kids come to more board meetings is great. We could hold board meetings during school hours sometimes. That would be great because then they're all there. I think without an opportunity and without knowing what you could accomplish by being here and by talking with people, I think you wouldn't necessarily know as a student all that you can accomplish if you advocate for yourself. So I think just kind of reaching out and inviting them to contribute.
Yeah, student leaders are very important. I know that you all as student leaders are very involved, and just, students knowing that they have someone, maybe in the board of directors or other school leadership that they can come to with an issue that, especially if, a student leader comes to them with an issue, that their voices will be heard, and participating more with the board.
Knowledge is power. If they don't know about it, then they're not going to be able to participate. So I'm not sure how well it's advertised throughout the schools, as far as how to get their voices heard, but just letting the students know how they can get their voices heard, and if they know how, then they will.
All right, it'll be the last question in the regular question section, and that's for Owen. And we'll start with Mr. Tarnowski.
So what is your number one concern in our schools?
Number one concern is staffing. So make sure the staffing stays up and the kids are well educated. And that's my number one concern.
Yeah, my number one concern is academic success. Again, I know that students did very well last year. There's a big portion of students that graduated with Regents diplomas, and an even bigger percentage with Regents with advanced certification diplomas, and that's wonderful. But I think that needs to continue, and more investment into STEM programs.
I would say just the overall well-roundedness of all children in the district. So, like I've said a few times already, I would like to reach all kids. The kids that are introverted, the kids that may not be athletic, the kids that may not be artistic, but creative in other ways. I'd like to see everyone reached. I'd like to see everyone in a club. So basically some type of program that could include everybody.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. So if we could have the questions from the audience. Do we have any questions on the cards? Anybody?
Anybody like to ask a question from the audience?
Any questions? I'll do my wait time. Okay. So no questions. So what we'll do is now we'll proceed to the closing statements. Each candidate will have 2 minutes to sum up any thoughts or cover any material that was not mentioned here. You will go in opposite order as the opening statement, so that we're going to start with Tessa Conley.
Okay.
please.
I did not prepare a closing statement. I'm about done talking about myself. This is really hard. But I just wanted to thank the board, especially Mrs. Donnelly and Mrs. Clemick, who are stepping down. Just in researching whether or not I wanted to do this, I've heard and read over and over that it's a part-time job, and you need to have the time to invest. You need to read, you need to talk, and you need to research. You need to get into the school. So I just wanted to say thank you to everyone, and I hope I get the opportunity to do that for your family. Thanks.
Yes. So again, I just believe that having a strong community is based on having community members with a great education, and the board of directors is, integral in developing those pathways for those students. So, as a prospective board member, I just, hope to bring, fresh perspective to the group, level-headed attitude, and show my caring and dedication to the district. So thank you, yes, to the board. Thank you very much.
Just want to thank Mr. Casteri and the board for hosting this. Students, thank you guys for the questions. Appreciate it. Chemical engineering, good choice. So yeah, thanks to everybody, and yeah, that's all I got.
Okay, so this concludes our meeting, the board candidate for 2024. On behalf of Social Studies Department at the high school, we would like to thank Mr. Townsend's AP Government class, Superintendent Paul Casteri, the Board of Education, the board candidates, and of course, our lovely students here who took a lot of time out of their busy schedules to do these questions and, kind of show us what it's all about. So, thank you, and have a great night, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.